Now let me ask you something. What happens when you find out you have no talent? Like nothing. You are just average or means below average. Not you are bad at one subject, not you need more practice. I mean the doctor looks at you and say you are no more. Not that, I'm just joking. The doctor means the student, the parent or anybody say you will be never able to do one thing you love you. For example, if you're an athlete and the doctor says that you won't be able to run anymore. So think about it. Most people would break. Most people would quit at the same day. One boy didn't. His name was Rockley. And if you have ever felt like the less talented one in the room, the one without natural gift, without shortcuts, without a genius brain, this video is for you. Because Rockley's story isn't really about ninjas, it's about you. And the story of Naruto, almost everyone has a superpower baked into their bloodline. Sharingan, Byakugan, Chakra beats. Bloodline abilities passed on like inheritance. Rock Lee has none of that. Same goes for Might Guy. He was born without the ability to use ninjutsu or genjutsu. Basically, 90% of what makes a ninja. And there is a funny part. If you want to know, then I'm telling you simply. Like it was called a ninja village, but everyone was either a mage or a wizard or something different from a ninja. In a world entirely built on natural talent, Rockley and Might Guy were the one handed an empty deck of cards. Imagine being in a classroom where everyone gets a laptop and you get a broken pencil. That's Rockley's life. He wants one thing to become a great ninja. Not for fame, not for power, because it's the one dream that makes him feel alive. And the universe basically tells him, not you. Sounds familiar. Maybe not ninjutsu, but haven't you sat in a class, scrolled through someone's success story, and thought, why does this come so easily to them and so hard to me? That question is the whole video. Now meet Neji Hyuga. Neji is everything. Lee isn't, means exactly opposite. They are polar of each other. Byakugan is that sees almost everything. A prodigy, ranked at the top of their class. People call him a genius before he even proved it. Because in his world, genius is inherited, not earned. And think of it, they nerve this character. Another believes something dangerous. Your fate is decided the moment you're born. Hard work means nothing against natural talent. He says this to Lee's face. Not once, again and again, repeatedly. Now here is the psychology part. Pay attention because this is where the video gets real. Neji represents a belief a lot of us secretly carry. Some people are just built different. I wasn't. It's called a fixed mindset, a term from psychologists, in which people with a fixed mindset believe ability is set in a stone. So the moment something feels hard, they think, I guess I'm just not talented at this. And they quit. Broccoli could have believed Neji. He had every reason to. He chose not to. So what does Lee do with zero natural talent? He trains insanely. While others sleep, he is doing push-ups on one finger. While others rest between missions, he is running laps until he collapses. His teacher, Might Guy, gives him one rule: master taijutsu, hand-to-hand combat, and nothing else. Become so good at one thing that it doesn't matter what you like everywhere else. The same thing is once Bruce Lee said that I don't fear an opponent who practices multiple like postures, poses, or multiple moves. I fear one opponent that practices one move every day. This is where a lot of students get it twisted. Who think successful people are doing 20 things at once, multiple skills, multiple side hustles, multiple subjects, mastered at 100%. Nah, Lee teaches us something different. Depth beats wide. One sharpened skill beats 10 dull ones. There's real psychology behind this too. It's called the skill specifically principle. Your brain builds stronger natural pathways. The more focused and repetitive your practice is, spreading yourself across everything actually slows mastery down. Lee, without knowing any neuroscience, does exactly what neuroscience recommends. It doesn't try to out genius the genius. It tries to outwork everyone in the one lane he owns. There is something people miss about Rock Lee. His story is basically a Buddhist parallel in disguise. Buddha once said something that changes how you see pain. Pain is unavoidable, suffering is optional. Lee's pain is real. The mockery, the limits, the doctor's verdict, Neji's insults, he can't avoid any of that. But he refuses the second part. He refuses to suffer over it. He doesn't sit in bitterness. He doesn't waste energy hating Neji or hating his own body. It takes the pain and turns it into fuel, not identity. That's detachment. Not detachment from effort, but detachment from the outcome we can't control. We can't control his bloodline. We can control his push ups. Most of us do the opposite. We suffer over things we cannot change. Our starting point, our background, other people's opinion, while ignoring the one thing that actually is in our hand. That is effort. That is today's effort. Lee doesn't waste a single tear on what he lacks. He spends it all on what he wills. Eventually, Lee and Neji fight each other in the Chunin exams, a tournament in front of everyone. And the result, Lee loses. Badly, his body gives out. He is carried away on a stretcher. If this were a normal story, this is where it ends. Hard work isn't enough. Genius wins. Roll credits. But here is the plot twist. Lee doesn't lose because hard work failed. He loses because his body physically couldn't do what his heart was demanding. Later, doctor tells him something devastating. If he keeps training this hard, he might never be able to fight again. Evo. Take a second and imagine that the one thing you built your entire identity around might get taken away completely, not by someone else, but by your own body's limit. This is the real plot twist of the video. By the way, the villain in Lee's story was never Neji. It was the voice telling me he wasn't allowed to keep going. And every single one of us has that voice. Maybe it's not a doctor, maybe it's a report card, maybe it's a comment section, maybe it's your own 2 am thoughts. The question was never, does Lee have talent? The question is, what do you do when the world tells you to stop? Lee doesn't quit, he fights through recovery, he adapts, he keeps training in every way his body allows, even after everything he was won about. Eventually, he becomes one of the most respected fighters in his generation, not because his condition magically disappeared, but because he refused to let a limitation become a life sentence. Meanwhile, Neji, the genius, I actually respect him more than anyone else by then because Neji eventually learns the lesson Lee already knew. Fate isn't something you're handed, fate is something you fight for. That line hits different when you have felt like the less gifted one your whole life. Here is the emotional part. Sit with this for a second. You're not Neji. Most of us aren't. Most of us didn't get the genius package. We are not naturally good at studies, sports, arts, talking to people, especially girls, whatever it is. We secretly wish it came easy. We are rockly, handed a broken pencil, sitting in a room full of laptops. Every time you procrastinate because what's even the point, others are frustrated. That's Neji's voice talking. Every time you compare your beginning to someone else's 10 years of practice, that's Neji's voice. But you have also have rock inside you. The version of you that shows up anyway. That does one more repetition, one more page, one more attempt. Not because it's easy, but because giving up giving up is not in the blood, so giving up feel worse. That version of you is still there. He never left. He's just been quiet lately. Okay, let's make this practical. 4 things straight from Lee's playbook. The first thing is pick one thing, one skill, anything, and just go deep. Stop trying to fix everything about yourself at once. Choose one subject, one skill, one habit. Master that first. Depth beats weights always. Separate pain from suffering. You can't control your starting point. You can control today's effort. Stop suffering over what you lack. Spend that energy on what you can build right now. Third one is train past the mockery. Someone will always call you not talented enough. Let them talk. Lee didn't win arguments with energy. He won with result, quietly. One repetition at a time. Fourth one is when the world says stop, you should do that thing. Adapt and don't quit. Lee didn't get his old body back, he built a new way forward instead. If your current method isn't working, don't abandon the goal, just change the approach. One day, all of this ends. Your excuses, your comparison, your I will start one day, or your scrolling, all of it will eventually be gone. Whether you used your time or wasted it, you also know you're a mortal, not immortal. Your time on this earth is limited. And in the final moment, there is one question left. Did you train or did you just watch other train? Rockley never had a genius brain. He never had a bloodline gift. He never had it easy for a single day of his life. And somehow he became one of the most loved characters in anime history. Not despite having no talent, but because of what he did without it. Geniuses are born knowing the answer. Rockley had to find it. Every single day, one push up at a time. And if you had to choose, you would rather be 100 years from now. The guy who had it easy, or the guy who never gave up. You already know the answer. Talent opens the door, but it's effort that walks through it and stays. If this hit you somewhere real, don't just scroll past it like it was nothing. Maybe this was the message you needed today. Drop a comment which Neji voice have you been listening to lately. Just like, subscribe my channel. Please like, share and subscribe.